Channel. I am going to be showing you today this new project that I just completed. My youngest daughter is getting married in about a week, and I created this her wedding gift, which is going to be this, well, one of them is going to be this wedding journal. So this is the journal that I created, and I put these hearts, and she has this beige kind of a color and roses, and it just so happened that, if you can see that, that I found some paper at Michael's, one of the blocks of paper that you get, that actually had this exact pattern on there, which is going to match her wedding beautifully. So these, I'm just tying it with some lace. Now, this is the first time I've ever made a handmade journal. All my journals, I do a lot of bullet journaling and a lot of Bible journaling, but I do it inside of Bibles that are already made, and I use my bullet journal in Exceed and Lect terms that are already created for me, right? So this is the first time I've done a paper project, actually. So this is the cover, and what I did was I found some, and it's the same on the front and the back, with this paper that I used. Now, the first mistake I did, and you know, it's still gonna work, but I noticed when I was watching a lot of YouTube videos on how to do this, and when I put down this paper, I forgot to put glue on the back. So you probably can't see it in the video, but there's little air pocket in there. But I don't think I'm gonna, I'm not worrying about it. I mean, if I do this to it, you can see there's some air movement, but because you're not gonna be doing that, my daughter won't be doing that, I don't think I'm gonna worry about it. And then I reinforced it with, I had this other paper that I found at Michael's for, I think it was like $1.99 for a sheet, and I made another piece in there, which I'll show you. So I put this on the back. Next time, what I think I would do is I think I would stitch first, and sew the signatures in, and then cover it with this, which I didn't do. It was an afterthought. So, and then I put lace. I just glued lace with tacky glue on both those sides. I created with the I left the strings long that I sewed with, and then I just went to Michael's, and they had a sale on these beads, and so I found rose beads and little hearts, which is her colors, which was perfect. So I'm going to move the lace out of the way. And I'll do a flip through now of this and explain when I made like mistakes and stuff along the way. So this was the cover. What I did was I made this out of a cereal box, and I cut the cereal box to the size that I want it, which is about like this. Let me get I'm going to go ahead and get my ruler just so we can see what that size actually is. It came out to be a really beautiful size. However, it's not conforming to any kind of like paper, so I couldn't cut a piece of paper kind of like in half, basically. Everything had to be like custom. So let's look and see. This is 8, just shy of 9. So I would just say 9 this way, and how much is it this way? And 8 this way. So it's a 9 by 8, which is it's not an A4, A5, things like that. So it was a little bit hard. I'll explain when I'm doing this. It was a little bit hard how to make the pages. So what I did was I cut the cereal box, and next time I do this, I'll do a tutorial on how I did it as well. But this is the first time, so I didn't want to show you guys how I did it. I made so many mistakes. So I took 2 pieces. This is a piece of the cereal box, and then this is a piece of the cereal box. You can see where it ends right here. And then this piece in the middle, the spine, was a cutout. I cut out that piece of the cereal box, the side of the cereal box, and then cut it down because it was a little bit wide. It was a bigger cereal box. I had to really cut down the cereal box. The other thing is I did not make it all one sheet like a lot of people do. So that was the first kind of mistake I made. But then I liked it. After I made that mistake, I kind of liked the way that it turned out. It gave me a little bit more flexibility. And also, I don't know, I just liked it better, and I was able to, I don't know, add this easier thing. I don't know, just little things. But anyway, it was a big mistake in the beginning, and I was like freaking out, and then I realized it was no big deal. So on the backs, I have, I put, what I did was this is another piece from a reflection, this is from another reflection. So I have a lot of paper pads from Michaels. Some are the 180. I buy the 180 page ones when they're like on sale for $9.99. And then I buy the cardstock ones when they're like buy one, get two free, buy two, get one free, stuff like that. So this is a cardstock one. And then a lot of the paper that I used, this was cardstock too, but a lot of the paper I used was just regular paper from their 180s. And also I printed out a lot of paper. There's a really cool Facebook group. I have to think of the name of it. And they do free printables that are copyright free that you can actually print. And then I also bought some from Etsy, some nice vintage ones. And then if you search for free vintage ones, there's a lot of people that just give out free vintage things that you can print. So that's what a lot of this was. This piece, so this was the top. And then what I did was I glued it. I put the cover in. See, you can see, folded it over. This time I did glue it. And then I put a piece of this cutout on top of that. And then I cut out another piece and put it on top of that. And then I just washi taped right there. On the back, what I did was I did the same thing here. You can see it a little clearer because I don't have something on top of it. But so this was the paper, the same as this. I pulled it over, glued it down. These are just little edges that I cut off here to make it so that, you know, it is square. Put them in like a kind of like a frame after the fact. And this was a piece that I printed that was really beautiful, that was free. And so I printed that and to put it, and it's the same piece. You can see it over here as well. All right, so then this was and then so I have 3 signatures. I have one signature. It was just too hard to sew through and make them all. There's 7 pieces of paper each. And so at first I thought, well, I want them all to be just one signature because that would make 7 times 3, 21 pieces. But it was just too hard to sew, you know, to push the needle through. This is the second signature. And then this is the third signature. And I made mistakes. I made a lot of mistakes making this. One of the things I did, you can see that they're all different sizes. I don't know if you can see that. They're not all even. A lot of people will go in and chop them off. Well, you know why I couldn't? I couldn't go chop them off because I prepared some of these pages. So a lot of them have folded, like this was a envelope that I made and it was already sticking out. So if I cut that down to size, it wouldn't be an envelope anymore, right? So, or a folded, and a lot of these are folded over, you know, things that I did folding papers over. So anyway, that was another mistake I made, but it's okay. It still turned out beautiful. So this piece of paper, I think I found for 99 cents. You know, in Michael's, they'll sell it just on the shelves. And this was a piece, oh, it's so pretty. So this piece of paper, I wanted, since it's kind of like a wedding journal, I made that first. And then I took the leftovers to do this with. So it's a pretty piece. It feels kind of like cotton a little bit and lace, kind of a mixture. So I thought that was really pretty. And then the other thing that I ended up doing was I ended up sewing all of my pages afterwards. And that was a thought that I just had. So all of these, you'll see they're all sewed. All of my pages are sewed. And I like that look and everything. I just felt it would make it more sturdy. But what I didn't like, and you'll see, especially if on the thin page, like this is just a one piece. It's not like a double. You can see the little tiny holes from the needle. And I was asking around if anyone knows how not to have that done. I just can't figure out how in the world you wouldn't poke a hole in the piece of paper if you're sewing a piece of paper. You know, when you sew material and you sew through into a piece of fabric, it's the hole, you don't see it, but it's still gonna make a hole because it's a needle going through, right? It's not like it doesn't go through. There's actually a hole there. Well, in the paper, it's a little bit more obvious. This was free printables, again, that I got from the groups that I'm in and stuff like that. More little postcard things that I found that were free and copyright free, and little postcards with sayings on them. Stuck those in here. And I created the envelope let me move this over. I created the envelope, and then I just glued the whole, on this one, I just glued the whole thing and let it open here. I put a stamp there that says, love happily ever, whatever, oh, I don't know, happily ever after, loving happily ever after, something. And then these tickets, these were really cute, so you could write journaling on the back there. And this page here, again, this one came in a package that I bought. So I bought a package of really beautiful vintage printables, and so I used a lot of those in this book. And now I did not want this to look like a junk journal, so it's a lot more fancier than a junk journal, and I want it there to be uniformity and class to it. So this is not, it might be classified for some people as a junk journal, but I wouldn't really, and I don't really consider it a vintage journal because I'm using other elements besides vintage stuff. So here's two postcards. These were from these are from Michael's, from one of their pieces of paper. And here's another one. This is another piece from Michael's that I used cardstock. This one's cardstock. And then they had paper doilies on sale for like, I don't know, 49 cents or something. So I bought those, and that's what's there. Plain white piece of paper here, so they could put maybe, pictures, something to write on there, do something fun every day. And then here's the plain. This is another one that I purchased. So this was one of the ones I purchased, one of my favorite ones. This one here with the roses. I got it from Etsy. This one, and then there's another one I'll show you. And then this paper was somebody was giving away these papers, so I just copied theirs. There's my daughter, her husband, and so then this is just great for journaling. And this little tag here that I just glued this one in. This one here is from one of those free printables as well. And this again, free printables. This was some tape I found at Michael's. It's not washi tape. It's really sticky tape. So once you put down, it better stay. It's going to stay. But I just wanted to give an effect of, I was not looking for a washi tape effect. I was looking more like for a piece of paper on top of a piece of paper effect. This is, and this is some more of that beautiful paper. Now this, and then these really pretty, oops, you can't see when I turn my thing in. Little pretty, I go like this, you can't see it very well. This here is a three spot envelope. So there's envelope here, there's an envelope there, and an envelope here. This one I learned from is her name Shabbydabbydoodah? I'll put her link below. And she has a great tutorial on how to create these, and they're really fast. And it turned out really pretty. I put another little card here. And then this pretty paper was from Reflections from a travel, I have a travel kit, I guess, or block of paper. This was something that I printed. And here is the section of the first journal. And I know I didn't, what happened was I was so tired and I was working and I was trying to get this done last night, and I couldn't remember. I knew you started in the center and come up through and then go through the center again and come back, but I couldn't remember how you tied them and everything. So I just went ahead, because I suppose it doesn't really matter. So I went ahead and tied right there, and then I tied right here, and then I pulled them together on this one and added, created and made sure that they went past the end of the book so that they don't get stuck in the book. And then I put my little roses and hearts on there. These were on sale, these vellum envelopes, which I really loved, and they were at Michael's, and they were like, I don't know, 49 cents for 10 of them. It was really good price. So I went ahead, and what I did was I didn't glue this in case she wants to, in case my daughter wants to pull it over. So I just tucked it in so it won't pop out. And then this is just different papers that I did. Here is, here's another little pretty little vintage, looks like a ticket of some kind. Made a little pocket here. This is another piece of paper that I bought by itself at Michael's. I think this one was like 79 cents or something, and I really like the way. And then it kind of covers over this one picture where they can put one of their wedding photos. And then this is just plain, this pink piece is just my plain, my pastel. I have a lot of, I homeschooled for over 34 years, so I have tons and tons of art crafts and papers left over from all my kids. And this is stuff that I used to just print in the printer when I wanted color things for the kids. So that's just plain paper there. Here's another vintage thing, and I created, this is parchment paper that I already owned and have at home. So I was using a lot of this parchment paper throughout because it's really nice and easy to write on. So I created a little, this is a vintage card that I printed out, and then I created a little tag there. Here's another pocket. You can open that into a pocket right there, see? And then, of course, you can journal on that. This is regular art paper. And then here's some more. This is some more of the, vintage style paper that I printed out. And another piece of art paper. This is really easy to draw. My daughter's a really good artist, so she'll probably want to color and draw on there. This is parchment paper, so this is great for writing, especially if you want to do a fountain pen or the Tombows or anything. They write beautifully on this parchment paper. So I cut that to size. This is the other side of that envelope doily, and then here's the other side of that piece of paper, and I use the tape again. Here is the next one, which I added some here, some more parchment paper, and then other papers here. And then here's just a regular printed paper, and then this is a pocket that I created with another leftover piece of that beautiful piece of paper. It was a 12 by 12, so this piece of paper here at the beginning, this was a 12 by 12 sheet. And so out of that I got this. I was able to make this pretty pocket here, and I was able to do the back. So I was able to get a lot out of that one piece of paper. This is some more, this I believe was free from the internet. And this was, it's like this. So this is the piece of paper, the 8 by 11. Remember, this was 9 by 8. So a lot of times if I wanted to use the whole piece, I would just fold it over. And then I put two pieces of paper together, and I created these long sheets. So I'll have to show you how I did that. What I did in the beginning, I did it wrong, super wrong, but towards the end, I started getting really good at, I would take a long piece of art paper, the plain white paper that I have here, okay? And then you can see it goes all the way. So I would cut it from here to here. Okay, so the whole length, I would cut that, and then I would glue like this piece of paper on top. These pieces of paper are on top of a white piece of paper. So then that's how I would create one whole without having, like this is cut here, but you see underneath, so this way when I sew it, the paper underneath is not, it's all one continuous paper. Because I was wondering, how am I going to sew pages if they're not like this? Do you know what I mean? Like if they don't have a center. So that's for that one. And so I really like the way that that one turned out there. And here's some more. This, and then I created a pocket with some more of these pretty little cutouts that in one of the pages from Reflections. And put them in here. So what happened here is I made another mistake because my tape was not even. And so this is a pocket, and I put this on because I wanted it actually to have this little thing here, but this was crooked. So I said, oh, and it looked terrible. And it was too late because this, again, this is some tape that doesn't have adhesive on. It's not washi tape. But I found it at Michael's for like, I don't know, 50 cents for a huge, gigantic roll of it. So I thought it was pretty enough, and it's roses, which is what my daughter's theme was. And so I glued it and made the border for the envelope there. Here's another lady, which I made again. This is some more parchment paper here. Parchment paper, parchment paper. This is one of my favorites, and this one was one of the ones I purchased. So I wonder if you can see that. This is so, so pretty. So that one is really beautiful. There's some more with some tickets that I just made, and I made my own little pocket here. Some more paper. I believe I bought that piece. This is from one of the books of paper from um, from Michael's as well. I think it's one of the reflections. And then there was some heart doilies I had left over from Valentine's Day projects for when my kids were little. And so I took that, had that. And then with this postcard, these were really cool. This lady made these, and you can print them out and you just create little envelopes, see, with these. And so this one, I wanted to make it so that she could actually put things in, but also she could see the pretty front of it. So she can do whatever she wants, of course, you know, with it. Some more little cutouts to journal in. And this one, again, this is I just love this paper. I'm so glad I bought that. And she said you can print it as much as you want. See how pretty that is? It's so pretty. So hopefully my light is still on. I forgot to turn my lights on for the videotaping, but here's that piece of paper again. I used it again here, and they loved Happily Ever After is one of the stamps that I have found on sale. And here's another center. So I did the same thing again here, and I just have my center here. Another card, some more paper, another, and this time I put some lace on this one, then I put the doily there, but turned it into a pocket. Here's some more, and she can just write right over this. It's really pretty. Most of the papers I chose were ones that you could just journal on top or add photos to. Here's another pocket, and this again is parchment paper. This was another piece, oh, so pretty, from the lady that I bought. And it was only, I think it was on sale at Etsy for like $3, and I got like 11 different designs, and you just print them out on your computer. And then I put some washi tape there, some washi, is this washi tape? Yeah, I think, no, that's not washi tape. That's a piece of this paper. And then here's a pocket here to stick their wedding photo in. More parchment paper to write on. Some more, this is pretty. I found this was another Michael's block of paper. And then this was another printout, and so was this pretty music paper behind it. And then I just wrote their name on that one there. Another piece of really pretty, I think this one was free on I don't believe this was from Reflections. I'm pretty sure that was from the internet. This one here is so pretty, this blue. It's just not her color, but I did go ahead and add a little pocket there that matched, and they like to travel, and this is kind of like a map, and that was from Reflections. This is just paper that I printed from a package from the internet. And then here again, and then I put some 3D butterfly there, really pretty, and just had this really pretty washi tape there, and it had this built-in lace effect. Here again is just another writing piece and some more paper there. And another printable. This I believe I got from, this is from one of the Reflections kits. And so I think this must be as well. Another postcard that I just glued in and added a bunch of different little tags for her. This piece, this Paris one was really pretty. And then here's more. This is the center of this one with a lot of parchment paper. And then, like I said, I didn't want it to look really grungy. So here's the little ones, and these are really great to write on. So you could write little love notes to each other. You know, husband and wife could write like little love notes, and then, you know, just stick them in here to remember each other by. And then some more of my regular paper from my office, and then this was from another kit from Reflections, one of the travel kits. Another envelope that I created from the free printables, and some more. And then here's just, here's an envelope. So there's an envelope there, plus a fold out. So if she wanted to make a second envelope, that would be very easy to do. And then another envelope here, another writing page. Both my daughters and I are writers. We do a lot more writing in journals than art, so we want to have a lot of places to write. I loved this piece. I found this piece on the in a free printable packet, and then these as well. So I just washi taped this one in here, and some more roses, and then the end of it. So that's the book. So that was my, anyway, the first time I ever made a, let's turn it up this way. If you turn it this way, see, you can see it's kind of a little tiny bit uneven there, but I did really good with sewing because the top and the bottom, they're not sticking out, so I'm really pleased with that. They're only sticking out, they're only uneven here, which is okay because you're going to make the book fatter as you go along, any chunkier anyway, as she works in it, she's going to make it chunkier. And then I just used the lace for the tie. I didn't want to do anything really fancy. I tried putting some pearls on it and different things like that, but at the end of the day, again, I didn't want it to be gaudy. I didn't want it to look messy or grungy or junky, so I went ahead and just said, well, we'll just do it this way and make it very plain. And so the main color is using these beads and everything. So what do you think? Please leave a comment below what you think about this project for my first time. And like my channel, if you could subscribe to my channel, like this video, and if you can cling the little notification so you'll get notified when I do videos. I do business mostly. I do a lot of, this is my project, which is journaling, and I love making these journals now, and also doing bullet journal and Bible scripture study and all that kind of thing, and Bible journaling, but which I share also on this channel. And I do a lot of business, so I help businesses grow and do their digital marketing. So I have a lot of videos based on how to do SEO, how to write your content, how to start a blog, all of those types of things. So subscribe to my channel and be in touch. And thank you very much for joining us, and I'll see you on the next video.